evening. God, I feel quite presidential here. God bless, no, I won't do that. The other day, I was recognised for my art. Now, before you all start muttering, I admit that that is not my work. I was waiting for a lift when a guy came up to me and he said, you're the guy who tells the funny story about the man with no legs. A man with no legs, the high point of my career. Now, it was not Oscar Pistorius. My guy was called Jeff, and nobody got shot. But hold that image, because there's more about the man with no legs later. Also the other day, a photographer friend of mine asked me if I thought I pinnacled, as in reached the high point of my career. I never considered it. What was my pinnacle? Was it a high enough pinnacle? Was there another, even higher pinnacle I should be striving for? Or my post-pinnacle, sliding inexorably down the slippery scree slope to the sunshine home for senile storytellers? I mean, it was a terrifying thought, because I had never considered what I did in that light. I'd always considered myself, well, more of a dung beetle really, just plodding along, doing what I do, trying to cope with the shit and pay the bills. But it got me thinking, what could have been my pinnacle? Well, maybe it was this. February 2012, the Tate Britain. There I was, right? Glass of champagne in one hand, post-Jeremy Hunt speech. Just been well patted on the back by Nick Capaldi. Woo! Talking to one of the other few Welsh artists commissioned to produce work for the London 2012 festival. And he said to me, do you know what the best thing about all this is? I waited, expecting words of creative wonder to spill like manna from his lips. And he said, the best thing about all this is that actually, for the first time ever, I've been able to pay myself a wage. So why do we do it, eh? Why? When it's so hard. Creativity, the desire to create. Why don't we do it just for fun? Why do you want to make it your job? Why sully the purity of your vision with filthy, filthy lucre? Well, maybe it's because we want to study it, better understand it, make mistakes, develop, progress, push boundaries. In short, do it professionally. The great thing about art is that it helps you see the world differently, the new, in a familiar way. For me, creating art is all about people, their places, their stories, and their politics. It shines a light into dark corners. And a lot of my work as a theatre and filmmaker and storyteller has come out of those dark corners. Particularly the voices of disadvantaged and ignored people, more particularly disabled people. See, I told you we would get back to the man with no legs. But now, diversity and inclusion, they're watchwords, aren't they, for the modern art scene? And it's something that we all sign up to, at least in theory. But the problem is, and it's true to say, sorry, almost mucked it up then, it's the pictures, how do you do it? Now, diversity and equality are watchwords of the modern art scene. And it's something we all sign up to. But it's true to say that there is a greater opportunity for a greater diversity of people to participate in the arts than there ever has been. But that doesn't mean they can pay themselves a wage. It doesn't translate into jobs. Now, the thing is, hey, I know you can say austerity. We're all under austerity. We've all had to take a hit. The arts has had to take a hit. Disabled and disadvantaged people have had to take a massive hit. Coincidence? I don't think so. But who really cares? People will make art anyway because they're creative. And aren't the arts too heavily subsidized? Wouldn't the money be better spent elsewhere? Well, let's check it. And I bet you know this, but what do you think the most heavily subsidised industry in Britain is? The most heavily subsidised industry in Britain today is the financial industry. Yeah, we knew that, didn't we? We all knew that the bankers had run away with all our dosh. But what about the second most heavily subsidised industry? Is it the arts? Is it sport? No, it's the arms trade. Yeah, the arms trade. Every single person who works in the British arms trade is subsidised to the tune of almost £13,000 a year, every year. And of course, austerity means that we all have to be more sustainable, don't we? We all have to develop new and sustainable ways of sustaining our practice. Now, what do you think is easiest to sell? A painting? A story? A dance? A concept? Or a gun? When I got a Creative Wales Award, I felt like I got somewhere. I felt for the first time that people wouldn't snigger if I called myself an artist. I felt like a professional. And that's it, isn't it? A Creative Wales Award means that we can do all those things that I was talking about earlier. Push boundaries, develop, understand, make mistakes, push barriers, be professional. But a truly Creative Wales will only do this if it celebrates the diversity of all its population. And in order to celebrate that diversity and fully explore their creativity, that population must have a wage, must be able to pay its way, must be professional. Otherwise, we will always fall short of the pinnacles. As for the arms trade, well, the man with no legs, remember him, was a hero, yeah? A role model to millions, looked up to far more than the majority of artists. Or that is, he was, until he shot somebody. So what I'd say is the next time somebody's giving you a hard time about being an artist or public money or subsidy, tell them about the arms trade and point out that at least you're paid to create, not destroy. Thanks for listening.